Hey everybody, thought I would jump on and do a live by the beach. So let me show you where I am. So this is beautiful beach that I'm at. Down a little further is a boat ramp, and then we come back around. So the tide's out obviously at the moment, and there's an amazing walking path, and then yeah, it's just absolutely beautiful here. So I thought that I would do this live here because it really fits with today's topic, which is around embracing change. You may hear a bit of the ocean in the background. I always find the ocean very calming. There's baby waves coming in, but I also love it. There's a place a bit further down from here, about 20 minutes away from here, where there are bigger waves. So it's there's the waves coming crashing quite hard. Just gonna turn the camera around. There's someone walking by. So I don't like to put people that haven't agreed to be on camera just because they're walking by on the camera. But today's topic is all about embracing change, and I'm doing an event shortly on embracing change with certainty, and it is for those working in the disability sector here in Australia. But the whole thing that I do when I work with people around embracing change, and before this I was doing a coaching call with a client, and I'll just show you again for those joining where we are, so you can see the beautiful beach. It's amazing. It's really pretty to look at. Hey Felicia, welcome. I've just seen your comment. Thank you for being here. So I've been watching a lot of different people on YouTube and a few people on TikTok, and as we all go through changes in our life, I'm noticing how people react or respond to those changes. And one of the things I'm seeing quite consistently is survival. Like survival. People that were once friends are no longer friends because somebody said something or did something. And hello people. Weird mode, Lee Leeds, hello, how are you? Feel free to hit that like button for everybody popping in saying hello. I will try and catch your names, but if I don't, I apologize. We're talking about embracing change and embracing change with certainty. And oh, welcome from the UK. So one of the biggest things with embracing change is that like I'd be curious how you approach change, because so for example for me, when there's a change, even if it's a change that I have chosen myself and I've made the decision to create a change, I often go through a period of adaptation. 4 a.m. here. I'm going back to bed shortly. Well, thank you for stopping by and saying hello. And 4 a.m. is early. It's not quite, it's 12 after 1 p.m. here, so lunchtime effectively. But thank you for joining at 4 a.m. So feel free to stay as long as you like. Yes, I'm in Australia. So we're talking about change, and I'm just going to keep the video on the beach because I find that it's really beautiful, and I don't understand Australia, but thank you. Hi, it's I'm not sure what K-pop is. I think, oh, that's a music genre, sorry. Yes, it's not too bad. So embracing change, so that's the topic. Let's stay on topic. So with the beach and things like that, thank you, Felicia, it is beautiful here. So at the moment the tide's out, the waves are little, the birds, the seagulls are having an amazing time there. And watching the waves go in different directions, so the water coming in different directions, it reminds me that how change in our life can come in, and it doesn't always come in the way we would like it to. Sometimes it comes in and we know, this is in Australia, in Victoria. And with change, some people embrace it, they can adapt quite quickly, but for someone like myself who lives with autism and ADHD traits, change can be quite overwhelming, even a change that I've chosen for myself. And I was talking with my client before, we were doing a coaching session, he's a business owner, and we were talking about how in the sector that he's in, there are massive changes in funding, which impacts staffing levels, like all these kind of things. And he said a lot of his team are feeling really unsettled with the changes. And then I was watching a lot of different YouTube streamers that go live nearly every day, and how change comes up in their life. And obviously we don't know their whole story because we only know what they're willing to share online. Their private lives are theirs. But a lot of them, I've watched how they've become friends and then they're no longer friends, and like, it's so crazy how people go after people for right or for wrong, but how public it becomes. And this causes a lot of stress for a lot of people. It causes anxiety and it causes changes in people's life, whether it's intended to cause harm or not. Often change can cause harm. Hi, Sean. Aussie. Yeah, you know, it's really funny. I've actually never got behind that Aussie, oi, oi, oi. I've never got behind any of that. So, but thank you for sharing. So, do you adapt easily to change? Do you feel that change is something that you can embrace with ease? Is it something that you struggle with? Is it something that you maybe struggle with but you're aware of? Like, what does it look like for you? I know that while I was coaching my client today, you know, I said to him, have you thought about like a couple of worst case scenarios so that if things were a little challenging? Many friends from there. I want to visit Tasmania. Oh, very nice. Where are you from, Sean? I've never been to Tasmania. Apparently it's very beautiful. I had a friend that lived in Tasmania. So with change and, you know, thinking about the worst case scenario, because I said to him, what would be the worst case scenario in the States? Whereabouts in the States? And I said to him, what would be the worst case scenario in the situation that we're talking about? And he said the worst case scenario would be for him, he'd close his doors for his business. And if things continue the way they're heading over here, then he may end up having to do that, not because he wants to, but because of the way things are. And so we kind of talked about the worst case scenario in this entire situation. And at the end of it, he said to me, wow, he said, I've worked with a lot of coaches, but never has anyone taken me to that worst case scenario. And he asked me why I did that. And I said, well, with change, we suddenly become a little stressed, a little anxious. And as part of that, we can actually, you know, go to the worst case scenario, but not go to it from a clarity perspective. Oh, wow, Sean, that's really, sorry, I'm just going to try and move you away from this person because she didn't ask to be on camera. I know Australia will survive after we get, okay, no, don't be sorry, I'm just like, wow, like, I I haven't been watching the news a lot. I do know that there's a lot going on, but yeah, no need to be sorry. Like, I hope Australia will be fine. We're in a cost of living crisis at the moment, but we are an island to ourselves, really. A big island at that. So yeah, so with change, often we doom and gloom back to the worst case scenario. And now this is something that, like, for me, when I'm going through changes and I feel like I've lost control of something, which is often what happens with changes, that it can feel heavy, it can feel scary, it can feel overwhelming, it can feel like, I don't know what to do. So one of the strategies that I often do myself, but I also take my clients through, is when they're facing a change, let's go to that worst case scenario and see what we can handle in that worst case scenario. And that on its own can be really scary, like really scary. But when you've got someone there holding your hand, so to speak, like taking you through it. Thanks for talking to me. Good night. Have a good sleep, Sean. Thanks for visiting. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button, we'd love you to. Appreciate you being here. So the whole thing with change, and somebody once said to me, you can't have certainty. There's nothing certain in life. But what is certain is that you have often a choice in how you react or respond to change. And when I was going through a really, really tough time several years ago, and my life, oh, it's a story and a half. But I was going through a really tough time, and I was like, okay, change. I'm sick of change. I just want consistency. And I came back. I'm just going to turn you around. So you've got me again, because when people drive, like ride or walk by, I don't want them on camera because they didn't ask to be. So we can go back to the beach now. Okay, back to the beach. Okay. With change, I really wanted to have this certainty, so that this control back into my life. And people kept saying there's no such thing as certainty. And I'm like, but there is. Because we have a certain amount of control, which is our reactions or our responses. And we also have this space where we can choose. So we can look at things and then we can go, okay, so if A happens, I could go this way. If B happens, I could go this way. If C happens, I can go this way. So there is a lot of uncertainty, but there is also elements where you can have certainty. So you can't control how anyone else is going to react or respond to you, to what you do, to what you say. Some people will like it, some people won't. Some people will be nice, some people will be nasty. Have no control over that. There's no guarantee that, like when I decided to do this live, which took 4 goes, by the way, that 1, I was going to get on the live, 2, anybody would like it. Richard, feel free to leave if you like, because we're talking about change. So if you don't want to talk about change, feel free to leave. Thank you. So as we look at the ocean, and even while we've been here, the number of birds has changed, the way the water's moving in has changed, the direction has changed. And the big thing is that we always have a choice in how we approach change. That's the topic that we're covering. That this topic is about embracing change. And, you know, when you go through it, do you feel confident in yourself as you go through change? You know, can you make the hard decisions? Like a client of mine was, you know, he said if things keep going the way they are in the sector that he's in, he may have to actually close his business, may have to let staff go. And That's sad, and it's not something that he wants to do. So when it comes to change and even big life changes, do you have a process? Is there something that you do? Is there something that makes sense to you? Do you react? Do you respond? What is it like for you? I'm just going to enjoy this beach scene just for a moment, because the beauty of the beach is that things are always changing, but there's consistency there also. There can be a lot of inner peace with it, but for some people they don't like the water. We each have our own place that brings us peace, that brings us tranquility. So if you're watching the replay and you feel like you'd like to share as well, what does change look like for you? How do you react? Do you feel like you're in control when you're going through changes? Because right now in this world, there is so much that is out of our control. There's just so much that, you know, we don't agree with, but, you know, we can feel like we can't make a change. We can't do anything because there's other people making these decisions for us. And that can be frustrating. So do you just go, yep, whatever, can't do anything about it, so I'm not going to worry about it? Or do you stress and do you worry? When things change that's outside of your control, sometimes it feels like you've lost your power and maybe even feel like you've lost your voice. I'm watching these seagulls. They're playing around here. We'll just have a few minutes of just enjoying the tranquility of the beach. It actually looks like it's later than it really is here. Sunset here is really nice as well. So yeah, if you're just joining us, thank you to those that have hit that like button. We're talking about change and embracing change and your approach to change. As I said, for some people, change means, you know, that they have to make tough decisions, and that's not always easy. And then other changes in our life are simple and straightforward. The inner peace that can come when you know how you approach the different parts of life, such as those changes and those challenges. Just watching these seagulls, you might not be able to see them, but they follow each other around, and the way they fly through the air, it's one's leading and it's like one's chasing. It's like a game of tag. They blend in a little bit, so you might not be able to see them. And then they'll come down and then they'll just sit in the water for a little bit, and then they'll go ahead and do it again. Oh, there they go. Yeah, they're up. the others are joining now. But yeah, I want to say thank you to those that support when I do a live, when I do my other videos. It's all about change and empowerment, being empowered in your life, taking that time to know what empowers you, what doesn't, how you face your challenges, all of that. Just going to turn you around for a minute. So there's somebody doing a run by, and I just want to make sure she wasn't on camera. So you get me for a minute. But if you just joined us, thank you. We're talking about change, and you can go back to the scenery now. Here's the scenery. Okay, there's that beautiful scenery. A lot of the work I do is that empowerment work with people, and it's all led by them. You know, what is it that you want to change in your life? What is it that you're happy with? How do you face changes? I'm going to turn you around just for a second. Yeah. So each time somebody decides to walk by, I'm going to take you off the beach because I don't want them on camera when they haven't asked for it. So it's coming down to what brings you joy in your life. What do you love about your life? What do you love about who you are being as a person? Okay, we'll show you the beach again. There you go. There's the beach again. Yeah, so I just want to jump on and talk about change and empowerment. Bringing out a couple of books soon, so I'm going to do more events, but it's really about that connection with other people and knowing what's right for you and your life. So thank you to those that watched and hung with me. It was a random thing. It was just something that I wanted to touch base and talk about, and yeah, thank you for being here. If you watch the replay, it'd be great if you hit the like button if any of it resonates with you. It was really about connecting and talking about change and that positivity and who you are as a person. So keep being your amazing self. Life is too short to not enjoy the journey.